Is Elon Musk's prophecy about to be fulfilled? Elon is predicting his new AI breakthrough will unleash a $1 quadrillion new wealth wave. That's more than 30 times bigger than the entire U.S. economy. And just to give you a better idea of how much wealth we're talking about, it would also be enough to send a check for $2.8 million to every single American. And that is why, for the first time ever, the two investment legends who picked NVIDIA 10 years ago are coming together to reveal what they believe is the single biggest investment opportunity of this century. They are predicting that by the end of this month, a new AI breakthrough from Elon Musk, one that he called the greatest tech invention in history, will collide with a market prophecy with a flawless 100% track record of massive gains, giving Americans a rare and perhaps last chance to turn a small stake into an entire six-figure nest egg over the next 12 to 18 months. Now, if that sounds too good to be true, you should know the last time these two rare economic forces collided, investors did have a chance to turn a small stake of $10,000 into $185,000 in shares of Magic Software Enterprises in less than 12 months, almost $280,000 in about 12 months in shares of Steel Connect, and $366,000 in shares of Qualcomm in just 14 months. So if you are looking for a way to accelerate your retirement, starting with a small stake, pay close attention, because this AI window is set to open by the end of this month, and it will not remain open for very long. The Wall Street Journal even recently warned Americans that this could be the last chance to amass generational wealth. If you miss this window, you'll probably never see an explosive opportunity like this again in your lifetime. Hi everyone, I'm Chris Hurt, and today I am sitting down with these two investment legends to get all the details on this exciting new Elon Musk opportunity. They are also going to issue a rare buy alert on a particular company that's been called the next NVIDIA, and they're going to do it completely free of charge. So you got something to look forward to. Be ready to write down the name and ticker symbol of that a little later on. My first guest today is Jeff Brown. He is a former senior executive of three major public tech companies: Qualcomm, NXP Semiconductors, and Juniper Networks, three firms that, by the way, now generate more than $50 billion in annual sales. He has also advised senior officials at the Department of Commerce, policymakers, members of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, and the Defense Intelligence Agency. And thanks to all of that experience and more, he has been able to pick some of the biggest AI winners of this decade before they exploded higher. And some examples: he picked Tesla before it jumped as high as 2,150%, NVIDIA before it jumped as high as 36,000%, AMD before it skyrocketed 4,100%, Taiwan Semiconductor before it jumped as high as 1,100%. That's another 10-bagger there, and I could go on and on. Another one, early 2025, Jeff picked memory chip maker Micron Technology because he predicted that demand for AI memory would trigger a boom for that company. And since then, shares have in fact jumped as high as 1,281%, becoming the second best performing stock on the S&P 500 of that year. Truly incredible stuff. Jeff, thanks for being with us.
Oh, Chris, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's an amazing resume that you've got. When it comes to picking tech stocks and profiting from this ongoing AI boom, I don't know anybody else with that kind of success. And I know it's been great for a lot of your readers out there, anybody who follows your research. I know as well, though, a lot of folks have been watching this on the sidelines, and they may feel like they've missed the boat. And by that, I mean, anybody who invested $5,000 in NVIDIA when you first recommended it could have grown that to more than $1.8 million. So I don't know. With massive gains like that behind us, it kind of does feel like maybe the ship has sailed. I mean, what do you think? Is it too late for anybody to be jumping into this at this stage of the game?
Well, to be fair, it might be too late for NVIDIA, but it is definitely not too late for a handful of other much smaller AI stocks that, of course, we're going to discuss here today. And it's all thanks to Elon Musk's AI breakthrough. I mean, Chris, he just filed this patent that you see on your screen right now to protect this new invention. Scientists have been trying to develop something like this for almost 50 years. Nobody was ever able to do it until now. Elon Musk did it again, and it is going to be a game changer. In fact, he's predicting this will unleash a $1 quadrillion new wealth wave in what I believe will be the last phase of this incredible AI boom.
It is amazing. $1 quadrillion. I don't even know how many zeros that is, but it's a crazy prediction. I mean, that is 30 times the size of the entire U.S. economy right now. So it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around a number that's that big.
Chris, I know it sounds crazy, but once I reveal the details, I think you'll understand why Elon is making that prediction. And Chris, just to put that number into perspective, it's enough to send a check for $2.8 million to every single American, including everyone who's watching us today. I mean, that's how big this opportunity is.
Yeah, way to get us all excited. I mean, my goodness, it's crazy.
And here's where it gets really crazy. This Elon invention alone is enough to trigger a massive boom like he's predicting, but it gets even better because I believe by the end of this month, Elon's AI breakthrough will collide with a powerful market prophecy that's been unbroken for generations, one that has correctly predicted some of the biggest market booms going all the way back to 1950. And the collision of these two economic forces will open a rare retirement window that could change the financial future of millions of Americans. So Chris, I want everyone to understand that when this window opens, all bets are off and you can compound your wealth faster than you ever imagined. You see, when you look at the history of financial markets, over time, on average, the stock market goes up about 10% a year. Now, at that pace, it would take you 25 years to go from $10,000 to a six-figure nest egg.
Right. I mean, you're talking decades.
Yes, Chris, it is a very slow process, which is a big reason why most people are behind on their retirement plans. But whenever this rare window opens, something incredible happens. It becomes possible to turn a tiny stake into a huge six-figure nest egg. Not in decades, not in years, but actually in a matter of months. And look, I know it sounds ridiculous, and I'm not saying that this is normal.
Right. So this is not normal.
No, it is not normal. And we only have a short window of opportunity to act. And the Wall Street Journal even recently wrote that thanks to these types of advancements in AI, this could be the last chance to amass generational wealth. That was the Wall Street Journal. That this is a very rare phenomenon that we'll probably never see again, at least not in our lifetimes. But thanks to Elon Musk's new AI breakthrough that I will reveal here today, and thanks to this flawless, unbroken market prophecy that has never failed, I believe this window of opportunity is opening again by the end of this month, and everyone needs to pay attention because the last time something like this happened, the folks who knew what to do had a chance to turn $10,000 into more than $350,000 in just a little over 12 months.
Yeah, and I feel like we need to underline that. I mean, because that's a lot more money than I would think most Americans have already saved for retirement. Of course, we all know that past performance never guarantees future results. And I know that's not why you're here. You're not guaranteeing any results at all, but I can definitely see how this has the potential to be a true game changer for a lot of people out there. And you're convinced this really could happen again.
Absolutely. And I'm not the only one. I mean, Marc, who is an absolute investment legend, is sitting right here next to me. And I know that he independently came to the same conclusion.
Yes, and my apologies, I've been ignoring. We do have a second guest here to get to. Thanks for the nudge, Jeff. Folks, our second guest is Marc Chaikin, 60-year Wall Street titan who's worked with billionaires and hedge fund legends like Paul Tudor Jones, George Soros, and Steve Cohen. He is the creator of the famous Chaikin money flow indicator, which hundreds of banks and hedge funds out there, and professional traders too, use to time their trades. And if his name sounds familiar, it's probably because you've seen him on CNBC. Jim Cramer once said that he's learned never to bet against Marc, and I can't blame Jim. That's a pretty nice little endorsement right there. Marc has developed a proprietary way to see which stocks could soon jump 100%, 300%, or 500% in the coming months by predicting the future stock ratings of over 5,000 different companies. And some examples, his award-winning stock rating system has flashed bullish for all of the top AI stocks since the launch of ChatGPT, with peak gains of 775% in Broadcom, 1,324% in Palantir, and 1,423% in Western Digital Corporation, just to mention a few. His system flagged all of the top 10 performing AI stocks without exception. So had you followed every single one of those signals, you would likely be set for life. I mean, you probably wouldn't be listening to me right now. I mean, this is truly remarkable. So bottom line, Marc, welcome. Thanks for being here with us today.
Chris, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
You just heard what Jeff said. He mentioned that you both came to the same conclusion, and you did that independently of each other. You both believe this rare retirement window is going to open soon. In your own words, what makes you say that, Marc?
Well, it's no secret that Elon Musk is the most disruptive entrepreneur in history, and what he's about to do next will really be mind-blowing. Even bigger than Tesla's self-driving cars, SpaceX rockets, or anything he's done so far. I'm going to let Jeff discuss Elon's new invention in more detail because he's the former tech executive who's been following this technology from the very beginning. But in short, when you combine Elon's breakthrough with this stock market pattern that I'm going to discuss today, the results could be very explosive. Now, Chris, I'm talking about an ancient market prophecy etched into decades of financial history. I've spent 60 years on Wall Street as a trader, stockbroker, analyst, and head of the options department at a major brokerage firm. I've survived 9 bear markets and created 3 new indices for the NASDAQ where I rang the opening bell. So it's safe to say that I've seen it all. And so I can tell you that this pattern I'll reveal here today is a flawless, unbroken market prophecy that hasn't failed since 1950.
Right. Never failed. Not even once.
Not even once. And that's why I've relied on this pattern over and over again throughout my career on Wall Street. So take a look. All you see is green. This is like a little-known law of investment that's written in stone. Had you followed this pattern, you'd have made money in the stock market every single time. No exceptions. Now, I know that sounds almost unbelievable, but as I'll show you here today, this is all based on raw historical data, and you can't argue with data.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued because when you see something that's never failed since 1950, I kind of think you have to stop and dive into that and pay attention to it and investigate. So you are officially predicting that this pattern is going to hit the market again very soon?
Actually not. To be clear, this is not a prediction. This is a market cycle that is happening this year, guaranteed. And every single time it's led to massive gains. And to use Jeff's words, when you combine what's probably the most reliable pattern in the history of financial markets with this Elon Musk AI breakthrough, all bets are off.
Yeah.
This could really be the last chance for everyday folks to turn a small stake into a massive 6-figure payout. But unfortunately, I'm afraid most people will miss out.
Well, what makes you say that?
But because most people are distracted by all the volatility we've seen this year with geopolitical events and politics, fears of an AI bubble, or whatever the headline of the day is. But behind the scenes, my stock rating system is already flashing a lot of bullish signals, including one for the Elon Musk supplier that Jeff is recommending today.
And I assume you're talking about the same stock rating system that flagged all the top 10 performing AI stocks, your system, right?
Correct. And I designed the system to track money flow from institutional investors because nothing makes a stock go up or down faster than the action of those investors. So the fact that my system is lighting up like a Christmas tree tells me the big players on Wall Street are already preparing for what's about to happen.
All right. I mean, Chris, I can tell you that that's absolutely true. Some of the best investors on the planet are preparing for what I believe will be the final phase of this AI boom. Jeff Bezos already invested $400 million. George Soros just invested $69 million in preparation for this new trend. Bill Ackman has gone all in with a $4.1 billion investment. Citadel, which is the most profitable hedge fund in history, has invested even more, $7.3 billion. Mark Andreessen, considered by many to be the best venture capitalist in the world, he just put $500 million on the line, and he's predicting Elon's invention will become part of the biggest industry in history, those are his words, and trigger a new industrial revolution.
So we've got the big numbers and the big predictions. Now you've thrown in some pretty big names there as well. I mean, that's the who's who of Wall Street and Silicon Valley. So this is sounding like a mad rush to me.
Well, Chris, it really is, and I can't blame them for going all in. Even tech insiders, the executives who actually run tech firms, are buying like there's no tomorrow. And nobody knows more about the companies than the people who are running them, right? Take a look. They're going all in. Tech insider buying just hit the highest level we've seen in over 15 years. So what does that tell you, Chris?
Right. Well, it certainly looks like they've got a lot of confidence here in their stocks. They think they're going to boom. They're putting their money on the line, is what they're doing.
Exactly. And the last time this happened was in 2020, which turned out to be the single best buying opportunity of this decade. So that tells me we're about to enter an accelerated phase of this AI boom. So the gains in the next 12 to 18 months could be breathtaking.
Right. And Mark, I know that in just a moment, you and Jeff both are going to give away the name and ticker symbol of an AI stock that you are both convinced is going to skyrocket during this coming window. Let me play devil's advocate here, though, for just a moment. What about all the people out there who've been saying that AI is in a bubble right now? Are they completely wrong?
Yes, they are wrong, but I understand why some people think it's a bubble. You see, I first recommended NVIDIA more than a decade ago. It's up more than 27,000% since then, and some people see these monster gains and they think this has to be a bubble.
Exactly.
But I can give you 3 reasons why AI is not a bubble, at least not yet. First, the growth we've seen so far is not based on hype. It's real growth driven by real earnings. So take a look at these 2 charts. On the left, we have Cisco in the late 1990s, which was the tech company providing the hardware that was the backbone of the internet. Now, do you see that big gap between the price of the stock and its earnings?
Yes, I do see the gap.
And the price completely decoupled from earnings growth. That's a bubble. On the right, however, you have NVIDIA. Now, what do you see there, Chris?
It looks to me like those are 2 parallel lines. They're moving together, right?
And that's my point. Price and earnings expectations are moving hand in hand. That's just the first reason why I believe this is not a bubble. Second reason, valuations are not extreme. The entire NASDAQ could double from here and still be cheaper than the dot-com bubble peak. And third, investments in AI are not slowing down. They're actually accelerating.
Chris, I couldn't agree more with Mark. And that last point that he made is very important because it shows demand for AI is not slowing down. It's not flat. It is increasing. Chris, last year, big tech invested about $400 billion in AI infrastructure, which by any means is already a staggering amount. This year, they're planning to invest even more, about $725 billion. Next year, they're planning to invest almost $850 billion. This is the largest capital expenditure wave in history. Now, if you look at the last 2 years alone, this AI infrastructure boom is bigger than the entire Apollo moon program, the entire Manhattan Project, and the entire U.S. interstate highway system combined, Chris.
Wow.
We have never seen anything like this. That's why we're seeing earnings exploding, and I believe all of these hundreds of billions in investment will be rocket fuel for a melt-up of historic proportions in a handful of AI stocks that we're, of course, going to discuss here today.
Right.
And Chris, Jeff and I are not the only ones who see that coming. Ray Dalio, the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, agrees with us. He recently said, and I quote, "We're in the early phase of this melt-up."
Billionaire hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones is predicting the same exact thing. He's also a real legend. He made $100 million in a single day betting against the market in 1987 in what's widely regarded as one of the greatest trades ever. Now, in the 1980s, his fund also had 5 consecutive years of 100% gains or more. And I don't know of any other professional money manager who has doubled their clients' money 5 years in a row. So listen to what he said recently. The NASDAQ doubled between the first week of October 99 and March of 2000. You have to position yourself like it's October of 1999. All the conditions for a surge in the U.S. stock market are in place. The coming phase could be even more explosive than the rally in 1999.
Chris, here's the bottom line. Anyone who thinks the AI boom is over is making a terrible mistake and could end up missing the most explosive phase of the AI boom.
So, I mean, clearly it's full speed ahead right now in terms of AI investing. We've got an incredible opportunity in front of us, it sounds like. Folks, if these gentlemen are right, the next 12 to 18 months are going to be a once-in-a-lifetime chance to secure your financial future once and for all. And we're going to get into the details right now. Jeff and Mark will also soon reveal the name and ticker symbol of one particular AI stock that they believe is set to skyrocket. And that's a stock that has been called the next NVIDIA. So again, stay with us. We got a lot to look forward to, and you'll get the name and ticker symbol of that company completely free of charge, all coming up in a few minutes. But first, I want to get some more details on this new Elon Musk breakthrough. Jeff, I guess you're the one I want to hear from first. You've been following Elon for a very long time. You and I have talked about this a number of times. You've been able to accurately predict his big successes over and over again. And I've talked about this before with audiences, but it bears repeating. 2018. JP Morgan issued a report telling its clients to dump shares of Tesla, predicting the company was not going to be able to compete with more established firms out there like BMW and Audi. You remember that, of course?
Of course I do.
That was a stupid question because I knew he remembered.
I mean, at that time, virtually everyone also thought that shares were ridiculously overpriced because they were valuing Tesla as a car company.
Right, you're getting ahead of me here. We actually have some headlines from that time. The media was even calling Elon a fraud. Wall Street analysts were out there predicting Tesla was going to crash. But at that time, you actually made it a point. You explained to your readers that Wall Street and the media were simply wrong, totally wrong. And despite all the bad press, you were recommending Tesla. And here is what you wrote. Here's the quote. "When I think about Tesla, I see one of the leading artificial intelligence companies in the world. This is the incredible part that most don't see or understand. Tesla designed a software AI platform designed to operate cars." You were essentially telling everyone, Tesla, not a car company, an AI company.
That's exactly right. And Chris, I remember this was the most hated and controversial recommendation I have ever made to my readers. I mean, some people wrote into me saying that there's no way in hell they would buy shares of Tesla.
Right.
Yeah, and Chris, anyone who didn't listen to Jeff obviously made a big mistake. I mean, Wall Street was completely wrong about Tesla not being able to compete. They've actually been crushing the competition. For example, in the U.S., just in the first quarter of 2026, Tesla sold more cars than all its EV competitors combined.
Wow.
The bottom line, Wall Street was wrong, and Jeff was right.
Right. I hadn't actually seen those numbers yet. I mean, it wasn't just that Wall Street was wrong. They kind of looked a little clueless. I mean, Jeff, in 2024, during a conference call, I have to go through this again, Elon had to actually sit down and explain to analysts from Wall Street what you had told your readers 6 years before. And here's what Elon said. Tesla is not a car company. We should be thought of as an AI robotics company. If you value Tesla as just an auto company, it's just the wrong framework. Now, as you can imagine, that statement sent shares, I mean, just skyrocketing to new highs. It was incredible. But again, you were 6 years ahead of that curve. You beat Wall Street, you beat the media, you were ahead of everybody. And because of that, anybody who listened to you and held on had a chance to turn $5,000 in up to $112,500. And what's really shocking to me is that it wasn't a fluke, because this is something you've been able to do over and over again. And just to continue, in 2019, the media again was mocking Elon and his idea of providing satellite internet services. You remember that too, I'm sure.
That was another fun one. Yes, I even remember reading an article that said, and I quote, "The history of satellite internet is defined by failure."
I know. And while the media was mocking Elon, you predict, and this is your quote now, Elon will get his Starlink satellite network up and running. And you said that he would soon be able to sell that service. And a year later, that prediction became true. You also started talking about a potential IPO for SpaceX as early as 2020. I remember it. SpaceX, as we all know, just became the biggest IPO in history. And when everybody was talking about ChatGPT, again, you predicted that Elon was going to develop a better model. And in early 2025, another quote here, The big surprise in 2025 will be from Elon Musk and his team at xAI. xAI's Grok will outperform the rest of the industry, and that's exactly what happened later that same year, with Grok being both ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. Is that what it is?
That was one of the most contrarian calls that I've ever made.
So my point here is, I've got two questions for you. Number one, can Mark and I actually see the crystal ball that you obviously use? And number two, let's talk about the new AI breakthrough. Why is it such a game changer? Talk to us about it.
Well, it's a new type of AI that I'm calling MAGI, and I believe this will be Elon's masterpiece, the culmination of everything that he has been working on for the past 2 decades. Chris, this is such a big project that involves his rocket company, SpaceX, his AI company, xAI, and of course, Tesla.
Yeah, and just to be clear, these companies are already working together to bring this invention or innovation to life.
That's right. Now, Tesla is building the hardware. For example, Elon recently announced Terafab, what is planned to become the world's largest AI chip manufacturing plant, where Tesla will make its 5th generation AI chip, which is referred to as AI5. That's the chip that will power this invention, and it's set to be 40 times more powerful than anything Elon Musk is using right now. Now, Chris, not 40% more powerful, 4,000% more powerful. Now, while Tesla is working on the hardware, xAI is developing the software, which will be a new form of intelligence, general intelligence, I should say, that's so powerful that the Wall Street Journal even called it the holy grail of AI. And SpaceX is planning to use a special type of satellite to power this new AI breakthrough from space using free energy from the sun. So on the surface, it looks like these companies are working on completely different things, but they're all part of Elon Musk's master plan to dominate the AI industry.
Isn't that great? The sun won't be charging us for the energy we use. But it's not to joke too much about it. It's fascinating and so interesting.
I find it incredibly exciting. And Elon is about to flip the switch on the most ambitious part of this plan, a new type of AI that I call MAGI. And once this goes mainstream, which I believe will happen by the end of this month, the world simply will never be the same again. And I believe this will help trigger the final and most explosive phase of this AI boom. So the few people who buy the handful of stocks that we'll discuss today will have a chance to make massive gains in the next 12 to 18 months.
Now, Chris, I know that for some people watching, this might sound like a lot of hype, but Elon Musk is predicting this new AI could 10x the size of the global economy, which would unleash $1 quadrillion in new wealth. Now, just think about that. This invention could create so much wealth that Elon calls it an infinite money glitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but infinite money glitch, I really like the sound of that, so for some reason. So, Jeff, what exactly is MAGI? How is it different, this new type different from anything we've seen thus far?
Well, Chris, you've heard of AGI, right?
Yeah, it's that I do know, artificial general intelligence. It's a type of AI that basically can reason and think like human beings.
Yes, it's like a synthetic mind, a synthetic brain that can learn and solve complex problems, completely autonomous. It's an AI that doesn't just answer questions, it thinks, it reasons, it remembers your conversations from weeks ago, and it solves problems like a team of expert consultants working together. It can come up with novel ideas completely independently. That's why it's such a game changer. It could automate not just jobs, but entire industries and come up with novel inventions entirely on its own.
I remember you telling me that big tech firms have been investing hundreds of billions, I think, of dollars in AI just to get to that next level of intelligence.
Yes, and I believe Elon Musk will be the first to get there. He's about to release the latest version of his AI model, which is believed to be called Grok 5,
right,
which is set to be at least 3 times more powerful than the latest version of ChatGPT. And I believe historians will look back and call it the very first artificial general intelligence, or AGI. Now, late last year, Elon Musk posted this message on social media. In his words, "Wait until you see Grok 5. I think it has a shot at being true AGI. Haven't felt that about anything before." But Elon is not going to stop there. He is going to have AGI, but not just in a digital form on a screen. He'll have AGI in a humanoid form. Now, that's why I call this new type of AI MAGI. It stands for Manifested AGI. It's a new category where artificial intelligence escapes the digital realm and manifests itself in the physical world through robotics and autonomous systems.
So something tangible. You're talking about physical AI in the form of humanoid robots.
Well, not just any humanoid robot. This is, so far, I'm sure all the robots that you've probably seen are very clunky. They lurch, they jerk, they move like machines pretending to be human, and it's just not natural.
Yeah, they're not real fluid in their move, kind of awkward in the way they move around.
Yeah, now, honestly, Chris, some of these don't even feel safe to be around, and that's a big reason why a lot of folks still think robots are many, many years away.
That's exactly right, and that's why what Elon Musk is about to release will be such an incredible breakthrough. The third generation of his robot, his humanoid robot, Optimus, will be nothing like those awkward robots that we've seen. And Chris, to prove to you, I want to show you again that patent application that I showed you earlier. Scientists have been working on humanoid robots since the 1930s, and nobody has been able to figure out how to make these robots move like us. And the biggest problem by far, the most complex problem, has been the hands. The human hand is incredibly complex. And until very recently, nobody had been able to design a robotic hand that can mimic the flexibility, the dexterity, the precision, the manipulation capabilities of our hands. Now, Elon finally did it, and that's why Tesla just filed this patent to protect his invention. They packed 25 motors into the Optimus forearm, and those motors power the flexible composite ligaments that mimic our own tendons, so the hand can delicately crack an egg or thread a needle or swing a sledgehammer with insane grip strength. Now, Chris, take a look at this image Tesla posted on social media. Does that look like a robot hand to you?
Wow, no way. That's pretty impressive. I mean, because that's practically indistinguishable from a human hand.
Exactly, and that was the only missing piece. I mean, Optimus's vision and ability to navigate the world is already far better than any other robot, because Elon is using the same technology that he developed for his self-driving cars, an AI that he has been training for over 10 years. As he's so far ahead from any of the competitors when it comes to vision and navigation.
Right.
So, Chris, at this point, I think we've all seen videos of Teslas driving in very complex environments without any human oversight.
It's Chris, we've talked about this before. It is absolutely an amazing technology. For example, my Tesla drove me from southern Connecticut to Toronto, Canada, and back, and I didn't have to intervene a single time except for my very short stop at the immigration booth. And my point is, Tesla cars already have real-time vision capable of recognizing objects and an AI algorithm that knows how to navigate the world without any human help. These robots will rely on the same system, and that's why Elon said, and I quote, "Everything that we've developed for our cars, the batteries, power electronics, advanced motors, gearboxes, the software, AI inference computer, it all actually applies to a humanoid robot." And remember, Chris, aside from autonomous navigation, these robots will also run on AGI. So they'll have a super smart brain that will give them general purpose intelligence. The only missing piece of that puzzle was the hands.
Well, and Elon Musk just solved it.
Yes, he just solved the puzzle. And that's what most people are still missing. They still don't understand how this is going to change everything. A robot that moves like a human doesn't just look better on stage. It becomes incredibly useful. It can work beside us. It can navigate our world without any kind of special preparation. It can be trusted in homes and factories and even healthcare settings like hospitals.
Right. So I think you said this, but just to be clear, this robot would be able to operate entirely without human oversight.
Correct. And that's why Elon Musk is predicting this will be the biggest product of any kind in history. And he's predicting growth of more than 7 million% for this new industry. I mean, that's enough to turn a single $100 bill into more than $7 million. And look, I know that sounds crazy, but even if Elon is only 10% right, that would still be enough to grow $100 into more than $700,000. I mean, that is how big this opportunity is.
That's an interesting point, even if he's just 10% right. It's mind-blowing. So are we saying at this point that we should just go out, are we telling everybody to just go out and buy Tesla shares?
Well, that's a fair question. I mean, Tesla was cheap when I first recommended it in early 2018, before it jumped more than 2,000% higher. I have to say it is not cheap anymore, so Don't get me wrong. It's a great company over the long term, but I'm not here to recommend Tesla. I'm here because I found a little-known Tesla supplier that I believe will play a key role in the Optimus rollout, and it has a lot more upside potential than Tesla.
Right. Just a little program note. We are going to get to that stock pick in just a few moments here. It all sounds so interesting to me, and I'm starting to get the big picture here. So correct me if I'm wrong here. If this new version of Optimus is going to move like us, nice and fluid and human-like, if it's going to run on AGI, are we saying that it's kind of like a synthetic human, but smarter than I, well, at least smarter than me? I mean, this would be the kind of stuff that we watched on Saturday afternoons in sci-fi movies since the 1950s.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But it's not science fiction anymore. I can't emphasize that enough. Tesla recently announced it was stopping all production of cars in its Fremont, California facility. Instead, this facility is now 100% focused on Optimus production, and they're targeting 1 million units per year for the Optimus robot, Chris, a perfect representation of manifested AGI. Now, Elon is planning to scale production as we speak, and that's just the beginning. By next year, he is projecting that he'll be producing 10 million units of Optimus annually.
By next year. So this is moving really fast then.
That's my point, very fast.
Okay.
And it will catch most people by surprise. The cost of these robots are already dropping about 40% every year. I mean, Chris, that is the same type of curve that we saw with smartphones. Remember back in the day when we began to see just a few people using those huge mobile phones that look like a brick?
I had one.
And then almost in a blink of an eye, suddenly everyone had a smartphone. I mean, I believe we'll see the same exact thing play out with these robots. It will start slow, and then suddenly they're going to be everywhere. By the time most people realize this is a huge investment opportunity, it will be too late. That's why I'm urging that everyone act before the end of this month and buy shares of this Elon supplier now.
Mark, you look like you had something to say.
Well, Chris, this is all going to happen when we're seeing that pattern that I mentioned earlier, the most reliable pattern I've seen in my 60-year career. So remember, we're talking about a market prophecy that's been unbroken for generations, one that has correctly predicted some of the biggest stock market booms going all the way back to 1950. And that's going to add rocket fuel to this last phase of the AI boom and send a handful of stocks that we're going to discuss today to the stratosphere in the next 12 to 18 months, including the Elon Musk supplier that Jeff just mentioned.
Well, it's a great segue. I appreciate that, Mark. Let's talk about that right now. I know that you and Jeff also want to give away the name of an AI stock that is set to skyrocket. But before we get to that, let's talk about the pattern that you just brought up. Because you mentioned it's got a 100% track record of success. What exactly is that prophecy?
Chris, I'm talking about something called the election cycle. As you know, Chris, the markets hate uncertainty, and during midterm election years like this year, there's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, nobody knows how the balance of power will change in Washington. Nobody knows who'll control Congress, and all that uncertainty tends to trigger corrections in the stock market. But we should use any correction to buy stocks. Take a look at this. This is the average performance of the stock market during election cycles going back 100 years. Now, can you see how the midterm election year is the weakest out of the 4 years in the election cycle?
I think so, yeah. It looks like that's the year you get a correction.
So let me ask you this, Chris. Whenever you see weakness in a midterm election year, should you panic or should you see that as a buying opportunity?
Well, based on the historical data in that chart, it looks like that's probably the best time to buy, right?
Exactly. Going back to 1950, if you bought stocks in that midterm election year correction, 12 months later, you would have made money in 100% of the cases. So take a look again.
Right. So 1 year later, the market was up an average of, looks like 40%. Am I reading that right?
Correct. And that's for the entire market.
Wow.
If you can pick the right stocks, the gains could be much, much bigger. For example, in the last midterm year, 2022, we also had a correction. And during that correction, my system gave a bullish rating to several stocks anticipating a boom the following year. Following those signals, you could have more than doubled your money in Meta, Builders FirstSource, and AMD, all in 12 months or less.
That's very impressive. Based on that historical data, you're saying we should expect a market boom going into 2027.
Exactly, because this is a well-documented pattern with over a century of data. It holds across Republican and Democratic administrations, wars, booms, and busts. It really doesn't matter what's happening in the market. Buying during the weakness of a midterm election year is where the big, reliable money has been made, and I don't expect that to change. Now, because of what's happening within the AI industry and because of Elon Musk's manifested AGI, which is about to go mainstream, this could be much stronger than just any boom. This could be a melt-up of historic proportions.
Now, Chris, the last time something like this happened was in 1998, which was also a midterm election year. And as you know, that year, another revolutionary technology went mainstream. I see it on your face.
You're talking about the internet.
Yes, exactly.
I remember.
In 1998, adoption was accelerating rapidly with, you remember AOL, which was flooding the mailboxes with its iconic free trial CDs. And
That's right. It'd come in the mail. That's right.
That was the year when Google went public, AOL acquired Netscape, of all things, and the dot-com boom was in full swing with internet companies advertising heavily on TV. Going online wasn't just for geeks anymore. By the end of that year, everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
And Chris, while all this tech revolution was happening, the stock market had a big correction because 1998 was a midterm election year. So take a look. A lot of people thought that was the end of the dot-com boom, but according to the election cycle, that was just a normal correction that would set the stage for the most violent phase of the boom, the melt-up. And that's exactly what happened. Tech stocks skyrocketed after that correction. And what was the last phase of the internet boom? That was the last and best chance to turn a small stake into a six-figure retirement nest egg in internet stocks.
It really was. Chris, if I had told you that in 1998, that midterm election year, just put a tiny stake into a handful of internet stocks, and by next year, you'll have enough to retire, you wouldn't have believed me, would you?
Probably not.
But take a look at what happened. You could have turned $10,000 into $185,000 in shares of Magic Software Enterprises in less than 12 months, almost $250,000 in shares of InterDigital in just 15 months, about $280,000 in about 12 months in shares of Steel Connect, almost $300,000 in shares of fiber network company Viavi Solutions in just 18 months, more than $360,000 in shares of internet infrastructure company Harmonic in just 18 months, and $366,000 in shares of Qualcomm, a company that I worked for, in just 14 months. Now, of course, these are some of the best performing examples, and I can't promise these exact results. But Chris, just to show you the potential here, in this last example alone, if you're just investing in the stock market it would take you more than 300 years to make those kinds of gains. So in some of these cases, we're talking about making the equivalent of many decades of gains in just a matter of months.
Which is clearly mind-blowing. Obviously, I can see how these kinds of gains that you just listed would really accelerate anybody's retirement who would make it.
Well, it's really extraordinary. But remember, Chris, this is not normal. This convergence of a revolutionary technology like manifested AGI and this powerful election cycle is extremely rare. And it's happening right now, and we'll likely never see an explosive opportunity like this again, at least not in our lifetimes.
Mm-hmm. And Chris, that's precisely why Mark and I are doing something that we've never done before. Today, we're issuing a rare buy alert on a tiny company that is perfectly positioned for this coming melt-up. It's a little-known Elon Musk supplier that is set to skyrocket.
And this company is already working with Elon on the project.
It's already supplying Tesla with a key piece of technology. And remember, Elon has confirmed his humanoid robot will be using the same tech used in his cars. And that's why I believe it will also be used in the Optimus robots. In fact, Morgan Stanley just recommended this stock as one of the key ways to play this robotics trend. And it's not alone. While most people are in the dark, a total of 39 hedge funds are investing in this little-known stock.
39 hedge funds, so it does sound like a mad rush.
It's a mad rush because this company's tech is critical for these general-purpose intelligent humanoid robots. You see, the robot's arms, legs, hands, fingers all need actuators to move. These actuators need electricity to work, but if you just send them raw electricity to them, lots of energy gets wasted. As heat, the batteries drain very quickly and the robot gets too hot. So this company makes a technology that controls and delivers power to the robot's motors and actuators in a much more efficient and controlled manner than normal semiconductors. In short, this technology helps Optimus move efficiently, stay cool, and run longer without needing to stop and recharge. And that's incredibly important for a humanoid robot that needs to walk, work, think, and move around like a human for many hours on end.
Yeah, I think I get it. It sounds like without this company's technology, the robot wouldn't be as practical and useful.
That's exactly right. And it's a big reason why I'm expecting shares to skyrocket in the coming months and years as Elon begins to ramp up his production of Optimus.
And Chris, I couldn't agree more. In fact, my system is showing a bullish rating for this company right now. And remember, this is the same system that spotted all of the top 10 AI stocks after the launch of ChatGPT. So this Elon Musk supplier could be one of the biggest winners in the next 12 to 18 months.
It's fantastic. They're painting a very interesting and opportunistic picture here, folks. Jeff put all the details inside a special report that he is calling the Elon Musk Moonshot, the #1 stock for the manifested AGI revolution. And inside, you're going to find the name, the ticker symbol, and Jeff's full and complete analysis. It's ready to go to you right now. And he actually wants to give you the report completely free of charge. All he asks in return is that you try his monthly research service, which is called the Near Future Report, and try it. By that, I mean for the next 30 days at no risk to you. The Near Future Report is where he publishes his very best investment ideas every single month. And it's called the Near Future because the future is coming much, much faster than we think. Something you've noticed, I'm sure, not an uncommon phenomenon. Technology is moving so fast that it's very hard for everyday folks like us to keep up with it, because by the time we hear about it from the mainstream media, it's already too late and shares have already popped. Big money's already been made. So in the pages of the Near Future Report, Jeff focuses on identifying and profiting from big trends that are just over the horizon, right on the verge of mass adoption before they become breaking news on mainstream media. And he's done it with Tesla, AMD, and NVIDIA. And aside from showing you early stage trends and giving you a chance to get ahead of everybody else, in the pages of the Near Future Report, Jeff will also help you navigate the ups and downs of the stock market at large. And I'll give you an example here. On March 17th, 2020, right in the middle of the virus hysteria, Jeff sent an urgent video to his readers and made a very bold call. And we actually have a video clip of that. We're going to play it for you right here. Take a look.
things are absolutely going to get better. Will be probably the best opportunity to make investments over the course of the next decade.
3 days later, the stock market did in fact begin a historic bounce back, and since that time, the S&P 500 has jumped more than 200%. Some of the picks from Jeff's model portfolio jumped much higher than that. If you'd held on past their original recommendations and sold at the peak, you could have made as much as 945% in Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing, 962% in Palo Alto Networks, 1,700% in Arista Networks, and 4,100% in NVIDIA, just to mention a few. Those were all market-beating gains. And remember, you can try the near future report for the next 30 days with no risk at all. And when you do, Jeff will immediately send you that special report that we've been talking about, the Elon Musk moonshot, the #1 stock for the manifested AGI revolution. Now, normally, a one-year membership to the near future report costs $499, but because time is of the essence here, Jeff is going to give us a huge discount. We don't want price to be the issue. That's the main thing here. The most important thing is that you get into this play before the end of the month. But before I give you the details on that discount, Marc, I think you've also got a special report, bonus report that you've prepared today. I don't want to steal your thunder. Am I right about that?
Yeah, absolutely correct. Like I mentioned earlier, across the 6 decades I spent on Wall Street, I work with dozens of brilliant investors like George Soros, Paul Tudor Jones, and Steve Cohen. And these are the types of institutional investors that move the markets. And I learned that they each had specific factors or indicators that they look to when deciding what to buy. Some valued fundamental factors like a company's earnings growth or price to earnings ratio or free cash flow, while others were more interested in the technical factors like broader trends in price or volume or insider interest. So I started making a list of the top factors that each Wall Street legend prioritized when he was deciding to pump billions of dollars into a particular stock at a particular time. And that list grew over the years. And after I left Wall Street, I simply took that list and I built my own version of it into this system that I call the power gauge.
Which is, just to be clear, that the system that you mentioned earlier that flagged all the top performing AI stocks since the launch of ChatGPT a few years ago.
Absolutely. And as you can see here, it's powered by 20 different factors that institutional investors use when deciding what and when to buy. And by the way, these are the most successful institutional investors. But you don't have to calculate or even understand what any of these mean, because my system just translates that into a simple stock rating system that anyone can understand. And here's just a sampling of how that looks.
Yes, and I love this. It goes from very bearish to very bullish. It's easy enough right there, very intuitive.
It couldn't be any easier, and we've had a lot of success with it. In fact, when you dig into our decade of extensive backtesting, all told, on average, the power gauge has flashed bullish on at least 8 of the top 10 stocks of the year, every single year going all the way back to 2016.
Wow, so it's flagged virtually all the big winners. That's incredible.
Well, just think about everything that's happened in the last decade, Chris. Global pandemic, historic AI boom, crypto boom and bust, tariffs, wars in Europe and the Middle East, a boom in gold, highest inflation in 40 years, interest rates going up and down. And during all that time, it didn't matter whether stocks were soaring or falling. Over the past decade, the power gauge has turned bullish on countless stocks that went on to soar triple digits, no matter what was happening in the market, every single year. And Chris, here's the good news. I recently used the power gauge to scan the entire universe of viable stocks in the U.S. stock market, and I pulled the ones with the highest profit potential with the least amount of risk. And I compiled their names, tickers, and my personal buying instructions into a brand new special report called the Chaikin Buy List for the Midterm Election Cycle. It has all the details on the top stocks to buy right now, each with the potential to double your money or more in the months to come.
It's absolutely fantastic. And folks, remember, this report will also be yours the moment that you take your risk-free membership to the Near Future Report.
And Chris, there's still more. I also want to give everyone here access to another special report called How to Profit from Elon Musk's new Terafab project. Now, Chris, remember when I said that Elon is building the world's largest in-house AI semiconductor manufacturing plant?
Terafab, that's, I think you said Tesla is going to make its 5th generation AI chip there, right? The AI5.
AI5, yes. That's the chip that will power Optimus, and it's set to be 40 times more powerful than anything Elon Musk is using right now. Now, as you can imagine, Chris, in order to make these tiny, high-performance AI chips, you need extremely sophisticated machines and tools. And I found a little-known company that I believe will provide Elon with those machines.
So this company would be a little different then from the Elon supplier you're already recommending, because it's not making the chips, the motors, the parts that go inside the Optimus. They supply the tools and machines that Elon's going to use to manufacture the chips.
That's
right?
correct.
Okay.
That's right. And this company has already been approached by Tesla to supply semiconductor manufacturing equipment for the new Terafab project.
So that's good. They're already talking with Elon about a potential deal then.
They are, and I recommend that everyone get in now before they announce it to the entire world.
Right.
And Chris, think about this. Terafab could become the world's largest and most advanced chip-making operation. It's a massive project. Elon is planning to produce up to 200 billion chips per year. Now, to put that into perspective, that's almost 10 times more than what Taiwan Semiconductor makes right now. And that's the largest chip manufacturing company in the world. So Elon's would be 10 times bigger, and this company is in a perfect position to profit from this massive project. It has so much upside potential that at least 26 brokerage firms on Wall Street recently raised their price target on the stock, which is why I'm not surprised that my system has a very bullish rating for this company right now.
Yeah, sounds like a no-brainer to me. And let me just say, just fantastic research and analysis from both you guys. This is fascinating stuff. Folks, Jeff put all the details, including the name and the ticker symbol, in another report called How to Profit from Elon Musk's new Terafab project. That one is also yours the moment that you take a risk-free membership to the near future report.
And Chris, I want to take this one step further. Anyone who joins Jeff today will also get a free trial of my world-renowned research service, the Power Gauge Report. Every month in Power Gauge Report, I'll give you an update on the biggest opportunities lighting up in my system, and I'll issue a new recommendation vetted by me and the Power Gauge to help you take advantage. This is also where I'll signal when it's time to sell and lock in any profits on our Power Gauge Report recommendations.
So, Mark, I just want to be clear. Anybody who joins Jeff today will also get your research too.
Exactly. Anyone who acts today will also gain access to my stock rating system. So you can instantly see if a stock you're thinking about buying has a bullish, neutral, or bearish rating. Now, this system has a $1,000 value, but you can secure 1-year access for free today when you join Jeff. These ratings can help you determine whether to buy, sell, or hold a stock. And of course, the final decision is entirely yours. It doesn't trade for you, but if you have a computer and an internet connection, you can use the Power Gauge to see the ratings of more than 6,000 stocks and ETFs, all based on these 20 factors.
Oh, it's amazing. You guys keep making this offer better and better. Folks, you should know that over 100,000 Americans, just like you, already rely on Marc's Power Gauge to help guide their investments, and we've actually heard from a few of them. I'll give you some examples here. Power Gauge user Anna C. wrote in and said, "My portfolio has gone up over $90,000 in the last year and a half, even after monthly withdrawals to supplement my fixed income." Brian H. said, "What did I do with my Power Gauge winnings? I retired at 57 years old. I would not invest in a single stock or ETF without first checking the Power Gauge. I've recommended it to at least 5 people." And then another one, Chuck F. wrote in and said, "So far this year, I've collected in my retirement account over $240,000. I couldn't be happier." So think about that. He added almost $250,000 to his retirement account in a single year. That definitely qualifies as a game changer. Now, normally access to the Power Gauge report would cost you $499 per year. But today, Again, when you join Jeff Brown in the Near Future Report, you're going to get that research from Marc completely free. So here's the deal. If you go online right now and try to subscribe to both of these gentlemen's research, it would cost you almost $2,000. Today, you're going to get a huge discount. You can begin your risk-free membership for just $179. Click on the button below and get started right now, and you'll be taken to another page where you can review everything one last time. They're not even asking for any type of long-term commitment. Just try it out and decide later if it's right for you. They'll give you 30 days to test out the service with no risk at all. And if during that period of time you find that you're not getting the best tech investing research you've ever seen, or for any reason at all you have to do is simply call Jeff's member services team and cancel your membership. They'll give you a full refund on your order, no questions asked. And we'll let you keep everything that you received as a member at no charge. That's right, you can keep all the issues, you can keep all these special reports that you see on your screen right now, everything. Keep it all, which means there's no risk to you at all for the offer. And remember this, you're also getting Marc's special report with his top stocks to buy right now and a free year of his Power Gauge report, which comes along with a free year of access to his system. And look, if you're still not sure the Near Future Report is something that's right for you, let me share a few emails that Jeff has received from his readers. Maybe that'll help you decide. Tim wrote in to say, Jeff, I've been investing and working in the technology industry since 1985. Your insight and experience is easily the best I have ever read. I'm in my first year with you and have made good money with your recommendations. Thank you. Ruan wrote in and said, I've been a loyal subscriber for some time now and greatly admire and appreciate the work you do to bring us readers such quality recommendations. Your newsletters are well worth their weight in gold. And Leonard says, just wanted you all to know that this is the most trustworthy news and picks I ever came across, hands down. My portfolio is nothing now but Jeff's picks, and I'm very pleased with how they're performing. The best newsletter published, period. Keep up the great work. You could be the next success story, so please click on that button and get started right now. Just keep in mind that all investments do carry risk. Past performance does not guarantee future success, of course, so please don't invest more than you're willing to lose. But when you join Jeff today, you're going to get access to everything you see on your screen right now. That is 12 months of Jeff's best investment ideas. Every month, you'll get a brand new issue of the Near Future Report with his top ways of playing AI, robotics, self-driving cars, quantum computing, and all of the most exciting tech trends of our time. You'll receive the Elon Musk moonshot, the #1 stock for the manifested AGI revolution. That's a special report. Elon is projecting growth of more than 7 million% for the new humanoid robotic industry. And Jeff found an Elon supplier that he is convinced will end up playing a very key role in this revolution. Find out its name, its ticker symbol, and all of the details inside of that report. You'll also get how to profit from Elon Musk's new Terafab project. And this is the company that Jeff believes will supply the tools and machines that Elon needs in order to manufacture his own AI chips. Those are the chips that will power Elon's robot, Optimus. And you'll find all the details inside this report. The third report is called the Chaikin Buy List for the midterm election cycle, with Marc's top stocks to buy right now. You're also going to get 12 months of Marc's Power Gauge report, yours 100% free. Every month he'll issue a new recommendation vetted by himself and the Power Gauge. Plus you'll get access to his Power Gauge rating system so that you can check the ratings for any stock that you want. Now that's a $1,000 value and it's yours free. You'll also get 24/7 access to Jeff's members-only website, which is where you can access all the issues, all the special reports, video updates, his model portfolio, where you can go and see all the current open positions. And you'll also get full support from Jeff's team. Please feel free to call or email them for any help that you need with your membership. Just keep in mind they can't offer any personalized investment advice. So click below right now and get started, because like Jeff and Marc have shown us and talked to us about here today, this convergence of a breakthrough technology and the upcoming election cycle, this does not happen every day. It's an extremely rare phenomenon that we may never see again in our lifetimes. And I'm sure you know what that means. This could be your last chance to turn a small stake into an entire nest egg. Think about that. And then click below to get started and take advantage of the next 30 days to review everything without any risk at all. Gentlemen, I am sorry to say we're running out of time here shortly. Can we go ahead, let's get the name and the ticker symbol of that AI stock you promised. Does that work?
Well, sure, Chris. The name is Advanced Micro Devices, and the ticker is AMD. Now, I first recommended this company to my readers back in 2017, and it has jumped 4,100% since then. It has gone up a lot, but I still believe this is a phenomenal company. Some have even called it the next NVIDIA because it's quickly becoming a huge competitor. Their Instinct MI300 and MI350 series GPUs are winning huge deals with companies like OpenAI, Meta, Microsoft, and many others because they deliver strong performance for a lot less money. Plus, AMD makes both the CPUs and the GPUs that go into these massive AI data centers, so everything works together more efficiently. Now, remember, Chris, big tech firms are set to spend more than $700 billion in AI infrastructure this year alone, and AMD is on the receiving end of some of those billions. And that's why Wall Street analysts see AMD's AI business exploding, with earnings expected to jump 76% this year alone. Yes, it has gone up a lot since I first recommended it, but I believe AMD still has a lot more upside potential. So I recommend using any short-term corrections to buy.
And Chris, AMD also has a bullish rating from my system. It's getting very strong bullish signals, which means institutional investors are buying heavily, and that should help push shares higher as this AI data center boom continues to accelerate.
Well, I do want to say that AMD is larger than the little-known Elon Musk supplier that I'm recommending, and it's larger than the company behind Terafab. So if you're looking for more extreme upside potential, I highly recommend getting those special reports and getting the details on those smaller companies.
That's fantastic. Marc, Jeff, we got to wrap things up here. You've both been very generous with your time. In case I haven't touched on something that you want to get across, I'll give you a chance to share final thoughts. Jeff, why don't we start with you?
Well, thanks, Chris. Yes, I just want to once again express how unique and special this opportunity is. As we discussed earlier, the lucky investors who were able to act the last time something like this happened had a chance to turn $10,000 into more than $350,000 in as little as 12 months. Now, honestly, I never thought everyday folks would have that kind of opportunity again, but here we are today. Elon Musk is about to shock the world with his manifested AGI. He's predicting his humanoid robot will be the biggest product of any kind in history, and he's projecting growth of more than 7 million% for this new industry. Now, that's enough to turn a single $100 bill into more than $7 million. And again, I know that sounds insane, but even if Elon is only 10% right, that would still be enough to grow $100 into more than $700,000. The CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, agrees with Elon that this is the single best opportunity in the market right now. And he's predicting this will launch the next multi-trillion-dollar industry, and this will be the next wave of this AI boom. So look, when it comes to artificial intelligence, nobody in the world knows more than these two men, Elon Musk and Jensen Huang. They are both saying this will be the next big thing. So if you act today, you will have a chance to get in on the ground floor of this new industry. And history says right now is the absolute best time to get in. And Marc's research is saying the same thing.
Absolutely correct. History is on our side. As we discussed earlier, going back to 1950, this pattern has never failed. The market has been up 1 year later 100% of the time. That probably explains why my system is flagging bullish for several companies. This is the same system that's flagged all the top 10 AI stocks since the launch of ChatGPT, so I'm highly confident the stocks that have a bullish rating now will skyrocket in the next 12 to 18 months. And that's a big reason why I agreed to give away my research for free to anyone who joins Jeff today. With Jeff's fundamental analysis research and my stock rating system, I'm highly confident that everyone who joins today will be extremely well positioned to potentially cash in on the final and most explosive phase of this AI boom. If this plays out like the late 1990s, a year from now, anyone who acts today could be cashing out with a huge six-figure payout.
Right. Folks, the last time that this happened, as Marc just said, was the late 1990s. Conditions are reappearing and aligning the same way again. And you heard what they said. Go ahead, click on the button right now, and you can get started today because, as we've been mentioning so many times here, we may never see another explosive opportunity like this again. And remember, too, you don't even have to decide today. Take the next 30 days and review everything. Read both Jeff's and Marc's research. Read all the reports. Play around with Marc's power gauge stock rating system. Then you can decide later on if it's right for you. And if you do decide to cancel, it's not a problem. You can get your money back and you get to keep everything. So no risk to you at all. Click on that button below and you can get started right now. Jeff, Marc, I want to thank you so much for being here. I knew this was going to be a great conversation and you've laid out a terrific opportunity. I just want to thank you for being with us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. And I look forward to welcoming everyone to the Near Future Report.
Chris, Jeff, this has been a pleasure. Thanks everyone for watching.
So long.